Hello, hello, pre-calculus. We are here to learn about the unit circle. Okay, this is the most important thing that you will learn all year here in pre-calculus. So let's check it out. Okay, so the unit circle. First thing that we need to remember is we're here on X, Y, a coordinate plane, and the unit circle has a radius of 1. R equals 1. That's huge. Okay? So for us to develop this, we just need to, all of these terminal sides here, that terminal side on all of these lines that are drawn here, that's all R equal to 1. Okay, so let's just start on the quadrantals. And this is 1, 0. That is the point 1, 0. That's this point right here. Radius went out 1. Right 1, 0. This is 0, 1. This is negative 1, 0. And that's 0, negative 1. Okay, that's not rocket science. That's pretty basic. All right. And so in terms of angles, this is 0 radians, and I'm only going to speak in radians here, or I'm only going to write in radians. I'll speak in degrees a little bit. And that's 2 pi. 1 full circle. Circumference of radius 1 is 2 pi. That's your radians. Over here is pi. Okay. And this would be then a quarter pi over 2. And this is 3 pi over 2. All right. Okay. So, understand the patterns. Just, don't try to memorize this. So remember, on the unit circle, any point x, y is in the form cosine of the angle, sine of the angle. Cosine is your x value, sine is your y value. So we're going to list all of these ordered pairs speaking to that. Okay? So we're going to use our special right triangles. So we're going to use our 30 degree. There I am speaking in degrees, but I'm writing in radians. That's pi over 6. Here's our 45 degree. That's pi over 4. And then this is our 60 degree, which is pi over 3. Okay. So we're going to duplicate all of those in each quadrant. It's pi over 3. I want to make sure it's legible. Okay. So, your reference angles then, as we cruise around, we're always going to be referencing down to pi over 6, 30 degree, pi over 3, 60 degree, and I'm going to add in pi over 4, or 45 degrees, because those are our special right triangles. This whole thing is based off that. All right. So let's see. Quadrant 1. Let's build these. Okay, so I'm going to cosine, 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 sine, sine, sine. Cosine of 30, cosine of 45, cosine of 60. Sine of 30, sine of 45, sine of 60. Easy. Well, this is the easiest one. We know those. Hopefully you have those memorized in rationalized form. That's root 2 over 2. Okay. So now for the 30, 60, 90, the 1/2 and the root 3 over 2 are going to sort of flip-flop depending. But you can also think about just, your common sense. If you're on your x value, this, is here, and this one is here. Okay. So this is a bigger x value. This is a bigger x value right here. Just thinking about the circle. This is a bigger x value than this. So when you're trying to develop your unit circle, just think about 1/2. These are your two options. That's 0.5 and root 3 over 2. Oops, what was that? Second root 3 over 2 is about 0.87. So, root 3 over 2 is bigger. Can't say that. Root 3 over 2 is bigger. So when you're describing this point, get that off the unit circle. When you're describing this point, as an x value, this is bigger than this. Okay? So this is going to be root 3 over 2. And let's jump to our y values. Obviously, this is higher. So this is root 3 over 2. All right? And so there you go. Now, if we just looked at our special rights, that's kind of your common sense. If you looked at your special rights, this is right there. Okay? So the way I drew this, just to be, keep it real, this looks like a smaller angle. So I'm going to put 30 degrees down here, pi over 6. Put the 60, pi over 3. So across from the smaller angle is 1. Hypotenuse is 2, and this is root 3. Okay, so here's your pi over 6, and you can certainly see that the cosine is root 3 over 2. Oh, you can't see it. There's the special right triangle. Okay, so there's your 30 degrees, there's your 60. I put the 30 degrees on here because that actually looks a little smaller. I'm just trying to draw sort of to scale. So 30 degrees, across from that is 1. 60 degrees, across from that is root 3. So this 30-degree angle here, you can see the cosine is root 3 over 2. And there you go. That's your x value. And the sine of this 30 degrees, 1 over 2. And sine is your y value. All right. So we're going to just go all the way around the unit circle. Oh my God. Okay, so right here we are in quad 1. Everybody is positive. Everybody's positive. That's your, all students take calculus. That's right. Okay, so let's go over to quad 2. All right, so this is your all students. This is S. Sine's going to be positive here, so sine's that y value. Which makes sense. We're above the x-axis, so it makes sense that sine would be positive. Okay, so, this is going to be root 2 over 2. Root 2 over 2. Okay, so once again, this is higher, so that's root 3 over 2. This is lower, so bigger, smaller. This is more right, so bigger, smaller. And, our signs, these are all left. So this first x coordinate here would be negative. Okay, so our cosines would be negative. Sine or the y values, that would be positive. And then, of course, tangent is the ratio of y over x, or sine over cosines. That would indeed be negative. All right, so more importantly, that's pretty easy. We're just going to cycle this all the way around. That's just no big deal. This is going to be root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. Okay? And then, same type thing. This is going to be the smaller one, and more farther away. This is longer. This x distance is shorter. And then your sign. So we're left and down. So these are all negative. And that's just this point on the unit circle, this point on the unit circle, this point on the unit circle. Okay, and this is this point on the unit circle, this point on the unit circle, this point on the unit circle. Over here it was this point on the unit circle, this point on the unit circle, this point on the unit circle. So let's do our last quadrant, and then we'll talk about the degree measures as we go around. So right here in the middle, root 2 over 2. Okay, I like to start with the y's first. This is closer, farther away. That's kind of like an up-down look in terms of the, and that's away from the x-axis. Here and here, this is away from sort of the y-axis. So this is bigger up here, farther away than, say, here. All right, so these are positive. That's smeared. These are positive to the right, but these are down. Okay, so all students in quadrant 3. Tangents positive, all students take. That's the ratio, so a negative over a negative is a positive. And then here, calculus for cosine. Cosine's positive, the x value. All right, so there you go. There is your unit circle, you guys. All right, let's develop these angles then. Let's start with the 45s. So here's a 45-degree angle, pi over 4. And so here we go. There's one 45 degree. Here's another 45 degrees. That's 2 pi over 4. 2 pi over 4. Well, there you go. That's pi over 2. All right? So then right here, I'm just going to relabel. This is 3 pi over 4. Okay, so pi over 4, this is a 90 degree, pi over 4 is half that. It's 3 pi over 4. This is 4 pi over 4. Well, 4 pi over 4 is certainly pi. 5 pi over 4. 6 pi over 4. Well, 6 pi over 4 reduces to 3 pi over 2. And then last but not least, 7 pi over 4. So the over 4s are easy. It's just 1, 3, 5, 7. If you kept going, 9, 11, 13, 15. You know, the 45s are just that middle part, and they just, you know, they skip by 2s. So that's easy. All right, so there you go. So if you're asked about a 5 pi over 4, you think to yourself a pi over 4 angle in quad 3. Pi over 4 have root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. The tangent of that would just be 1, and then you just have to think about your signs. That tangent is positive. Okay, so here, there's that. All right, let's go on and do the rest of this here, and do our, let's go on our 30 degrees. Okay, so pi over 6, that's 30 degrees. If I got 2 of those, I'd be 2 pi over 3, I'd be 2 pi over 6, which is pi over 3. So pi over 6, this is like a 30 degree. Okay, so pi over 6. 2 of those would get me here for a 60 degree. 2 pi over 6 is pi over 3. Okay, if I had 3 of those, that would get me at 90 degrees, which is 3 pi over 6, which is, again, pi over 2. All right? And so on and so forth. So what we're going to want to do is reference down to the x-axis. So this right here is going to be your over 6, tucked close to the x-axis. We want to reference down to the x-axis. So we just got to figure out how many of those we have, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. This is 5 pi over 6. Okay, so pi over 6 gets into the second quadrant as 5 pi over 6. You can always do a quick kind of, that's a 30 degree angle times 5 is 150, which is 30 degrees away from 180 if you want to think in degrees. That's 5 pi over 6. Okay? And so if I add another 30 degrees, I'm 6 pi over 6. If I add another pi over 6, I'm 6 pi over 6, which of course is pi. And then here, this next one is 7 pi over 6. Okay, so that's a 30 degree angle in quad 3 is 7 pi over 6. All right, keep going. This would be 8 pi over 6, 9 pi over 6, 10 pi over 6, and then 11 pi over 6. 11 pi over 6 is your 30 degree angle in quad 4. Okay, and just think about that. You know, you're pi over 6 away from 12 pi over 6. You're pi over 6 away from 12 pi over 6. 12 pi over 6 is 2 pi. So this here, so your 30 degrees are, your pi over 6 are pi over 6, 5 pi over 6, 7 pi over 6, and 11 pi over 6. And so they're all referencing to this x-axis. All right? As are the pi over 4s. Okay, let's talk about our pi over 3. So this is your 60 degree angle. So 60 degree angle. And then another 60 degree angle would get me here. So this is going to be a 60 degree, and then another 60 degree is 2 pi over 3. All right, and if you just think about this as a 60 degree angle, pi over 3 is 60. 2 of those is 120. And 120 degrees is certainly 60 degrees away from 180. Okay? So, and that is just referencing this down to the x-axis. All right, so 60 degrees, another 60 degrees, another 60 degrees would get me right here. And that would be 3 pi's over 3. So here's 1 pi over 3, here's 2 pi's over 3, here's 3 pi's over 3, just pi, great. And then we'll go 4 pi over 3, which will get me another 60 degrees. So this is 4 pi over 3. All right, that's 4 pi over 3. So the pi over 6 are going 1, 2, 4. Okay? And so we're here at 4 pi over 3, and then 5 pi over 3 jumps right here. 5 pi over 3 is this one. Okay? And that's going right there, referencing to the x-axis. So that's 5 pi over 3. Again, think about that as a 60-degree angle. 60 degrees times 5 is 300, so that's 300 degrees. 60 degrees away from our last 60 degrees, which would be 6 pi over 3. 6 pi over 3 is this 2 pi. Okay? So there is your unit circle. This is important. This is important. These are all your reference angles. Sine positive here. Everyone positive here. Sine positive here. Tangent positive here. Cosine positive here. And then just all of these important ratios applied. Okay, so the next thing to do is to fill in this chart on the next page.